Oh, over here.
Congressman Kucinich, my question is this. You speak of a single-payer system for health care, so, Medicare. But my question relates to the jobs held by people who now work for those medical insurance companies that plague us and plague the doctors. What happens to those people in those jobs?
They would actually be employed by the Medicare system, many of them, because as the system services would expand and the number of people served would expand, you would need more people to handle the accounting work. That's not the problem. The problem is that there are over 50 million Americans that don't have any health insurance, and other 50 million Americans are underinsured. Health care is not affordable, it's not accessible. The plan that I have, of which I'm the co-author, would put America in line with every other industrialized democracy. It is time that we realize that health care is a right in a democratic society, not a privilege based on ability to pay. People are losing their homes because they can't afford to pay their doctor bills. Before this wave of foreclosures came, at least half of the people half of the bankruptcies were directly connected to people not being able to pay their hospital bills. We have to recognize that health care is a thing that can help stimulate our economy. It can help move us away from where we are right now in an economic doldrums. It'd be good for business, and it would be good for the American people. And it's an idea whose time has come, and I'm prepared, if I'm fortunate enough to be reelected, to continue to pursue that in the United States Congress.
Mr. Trakas, your thoughts?
Thank you for the question. I would just say this. With healthcare being the leading employer in Greater Cleveland, with 3 of the top 5 employers here being Medical Mutual, Cleveland Clinic, and University Hospitals, this would have a chilling effect on Cleveland's economy. It would destroy innovation. It would make us just another government program for our healthcare, putting 1/3 of the economy into the hands of the folks who gave us the mess we're in today. I say no.
Mr. Conroy, your thoughts?
My thoughts are exactly the same. I believe that already the federal government takes 20% of GDP, and we're going to roll in another 1/3, would be over half of our GDP being controlled by our government. We need to free up the system. We need to take overburdensome regulations out of the system and let people buy their own health care and port it with them.
All right, thank you, candidates. Next question, Marcella.
Mr. Trakas, you spoke at the McCain-Palin rally in Strongsville last week. I read that at that rally, you called supporters of Senator Obama sinners. Now, Representative Trakas, I live in the 10th District. I would be one of your constituents, and I support Senator Obama. So, is it true that you said that? If so, what are you saying about me and the majority of the 10th District constituents? And if you didn't say that, what are your views on plurality in the political world?
Well, I did say that, and it was a euphemism and a joke, and so I hope people understand that. So I was before a bunch of Republicans, and I was exhorting them to go out and knock on doors and make telephone calls. So my apologies if you took it any differently than that.
Mr. Conroy?
It was his comments.
Yes, it was. Congressman, any thoughts?
I could say, let he who is without sin cast the first stone, but I won't say that. What I will say is, as part of the healthcare argument, Jim, I'm not talking about government taking over these healthcare facilities. I'm talking about converting all the assets of the system to not-for-profit. Right now, 1/3 of every healthcare dollars, 1 out of 3 every healthcare dollars goes for the activities of the for-profit system. Take $800 billion a year, put it into healthcare, and suddenly you have enough money to cover everybody. Everyone's healthcare needs are covered. And
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you, Congressman.
And you too.
Our next question is coming in live from Cuyahoga County Library at Fairview Park.
My name is Ray Hamley from Fairview Park, Ohio, and my question is, what are these people going to do in this District 10 about the foreclosures and abandoned homes and everything, because it's running the neighborhoods down, that your value goes down, that people can't get ahead this way, they're going in debt all the time. I would just like to know what they're going to do about this project here.
All right. Thank you from Fairview. Obviously, a question for all 3 candidates. We'll start with Mr. Conroy.
Well, first of all, it's a very local issue, and I believe local solutions would work best. The federal government needs to do its job and, again, reduce spending. I know it's the federal government who got us into this mess. And I believe that we can partner with people to to help good people keep their homes, but it's really more of a local problem than a federal problem as per the Constitution.
Mr. Trakas.
Thank you. There's a number of things, and thanks for the question. First of all, we need to get back to common sense in our lending practices. We've got to go back to traditional lending ideas where you've got a relationship with your lender. They keep your loan. They're not selling it all over these unregulated markets. You've got to regulate those markets back, those derivative markets. I think that's critical to getting some fiscal sanity. And, of course, most importantly, you've got to have absolute fundamental reforms of those mortgagers. I think when Fannie and Freddie get back on their feet, they need to be spun off and become private, and not a bunch of ideas that people in Washington have for social engineering. I further think that a rising tide lifts all ships. We improve our economy, and we'll be able to get those homes back up and running again. But it really is a nightmare scenario, and I think that we have to be a little patient and understand that it will take a little time to bring that back.
Congressman.
This is a national problem. We have 10 million people who are facing the loss of their homes. They're in various stages of jeopardy, either with subprime or adjusted rate mortgages or the Alt-A jumbo mortgages that are coming for a reset in '09. I brought this issue to the attention of the Democratic caucus and the United States Congress, saying that rather than give a bailout to Wall Street, what we ought to be doing is having the government take a controlling interest in these mortgage-backed securities, which are often, at this point, fractionated in terms of who holds them, and then help people save their homes, help people stay in their homes through creating workouts on reduction of interest and principal and rescheduling payments. I mean, America, home ownership is part of the American dream. We're losing it because of these of predatory lenders and derivatives that were used to essentially distort the market. So we need to also give communities back the power to go after predatory lenders, and I'm really sorry, Jim, that you voted and supported 386, which was the bill that took away communities' power. I think there was a mistake.
All right. Next question.
Mr. Trakas, what are your plans to revitalize Cleveland and bring the economy back to us?
It was directed to Mr. Trakas. We'll let you start, and then we'll get the other candidates.
Thank you. I spoke about our Bring Hot Jobs home zones, which I think are very critical to places like Greater Cleveland, so we can really get people working again. But it's going to take a long-term effort. We also have to fundamentally reform our tax and regulatory policies, which make it so difficult to do business in this country. We should have common sense solutions on those things. I think that having American energy solutions, wind, solar, oil, natural gas, clean coal technology, all of our options help create jobs in this region. And we've got a specialty with fuel cells and batteries right here in Northeast Ohio. We can be building a lot of these new technologies right here in Greater Cleveland. And I think if we look at my comprehensive energy plan and the Congress is able to pass something like that, it would fundamentally benefit people through lower prices for, lower costs for energy and more jobs.
All right, significant question. Candidates get a minute for this. Mr. Conroy, next.
Revitalizing, well, why only zones? Why not the whole district? I would like the whole district to be turned into a federal income tax-free zone. And I'll tell you what, elected to Congress, I want to get that roughly $1.8 billion that this district sends to Washington back into the hands of the individuals, because they know best on how to drive this economy. I'm not going to sit up here and be arrogant enough to say I know which industries are best for here. The business people knew what business industries are best for here, and if they had the capital, they can invest in it and get the job done.
All right, Mr. Conroy, you got a groundswell of support for that one. Congressman.
I vote for that guy.
I think we all heard that.
I'm pleased to have played a role in helping to bring $3.4 million for research and development for the Energizer Battery Company.